The most successful pitch in Dragon's Den history. Well, I'm curious.
Levi Roots was one entrepreneur who proved the rule that even the dragons can be wooed with charm and charisma. He came to the den in February 2007, looking for an investment of £50,000 for his Caribbean cooking accompaniment, Reggae Sauce.
Put some music in my food for me and give me some reggae sauce. At reggae sauce.
Well, they hate it.
When you think of charisma and personality, there could only be one name. Theopophetus. No. There could only be one name. Levi Roots.
This is like an actual supervillain lair.
I had to name it twice.
When he came on playing that guitar with that fantastic hair, fantastic
I see the
voice,
tier 1 zoom.
fantastic song, he had everyone's attention.
At reggae sauce.
He's the first person that's come into the den that's actually made a pitch all around music. You got to know about his product with one song.
So nice with your fried chicken. Make burgers finger licking.
He was so instantly...
What a beautiful song.
You rooted for him. Ah, I didn't intend that. That was quite an unexpected coincidence.
Put some reggae sauce on your list.
I don't know, Clausen. Probably not, man.
As a Jamaican, you
I'm
make
not a
song
huge
and dance
fan.
about everything. Music and food goes together. I had the song in my heart. I'm gonna have something that when the dragons see this, they're not gonna know what's it on.
Levi, media.
How spicy is it?
Captured your attention.
Is there any
Better than
jalapenos in there?
Sophisticated business spreadsheet would do. But fundamentally, the product has to be good.
For 15 years, we've been marketing the sauce at the Notting Hill Carnival. I've got a very nice order from a meat company in Yorkshire.
Oh, that was wholesome.
Wait for it.
Thanks,
2.5 million
Zo9.
liters of reggae sauce.
The recep
That's their
term.
first orders. We've
Which is
had
the fat
just
drop.
like shook hands on a deal. I've had a nice letter from them, which I have with me. Now, all we have to do now is just try and get production up to standard. Any questions, please?
Well, that was easy.
It's rare for the dragons to be serenaded for an investment, but will that help Levi Roots secure
This is big in the UK?
£50,000
Really?
in return for a 20% share in Reggae Sauce? Theopophetus wants to know more about the entrepreneur.
He's
in
worth
front of him.
45 million?
Levi Roots, what a great name.
Thanks
Is it
very
your real
much.
name?
No, it's my pseudonym. My real name is Keith. No, I don't think he would have been in 30 years in reggae if I was. Can I introduce Keith?
You've just lost so much credibility. You should have lied to him and said, yeah.
But you
That was
have to know
good.
My mother calls me Keith, right? She calls me Levi. I've been knowing that ever since then.
Oh dear, right.
I kind of want to try the reggae
Dragons
sauce
seem
now.
charmed by Levi, but they're also bemused by his claim to have secured a massive order for his sauce. Duncan Bannatyne has some questions.
Okay, you mentioned.
Is it
11
spicy?
you had with
Yeah.
an order
Is the sauce
for
spicy? Could I handle it?
2.5 million litres.
Yeah.
Keep in mind,
So
I
we got
wince it
that
like
okay?
banana
I have
peppers.
indeed.
Well, would you pass that to Theo and let him read it while I ask you a few more questions?
Certainly, no problem. And I think Theo must be this handsome guy right in front of me here.
Sold. I like
It's
it
not that
already.
spicy? Okay.
So you've been selling this for 15 years
Yes.
at the carnival.
Not in the carnival, yes.
So how many bottles did you sell last year?
2,500.
2,500 bottles at the carnival. And approximately how much per bottle?
149.
So about £4,000 turnover or something.
Yeah. The sauce actually costs 32 pence to make each bottle of this size.
Where do you make it? How
Wow,
do you
what
make it?
humble
Make it in the
beginnings.
kitchen or
Yes, I
45
make it
million
at
now
home in
from
my
here?
kitchen, and my children help me, and we just sort of do it as a family there. It's a very small kitchen. We can't do a very large amount at the
But
moment.
can you legally make things like that in your kitchen and go out and sell them nationwide?
Absolutely, because we've had a letter and a confirmation. From
Thanks
the
to the
food
tier 1
standard,
hippo.
Okay.
which was one of the first things that I did.
Have you spoken to anybody about what it takes to produce the kind of volumes that are going to be needed to
Yes, I
fulfill
have.
these? And
I
what
have
do you
indeed.
need to do?
Thanks
What
to the
I
bits,
need to
gentle.
do is to rent a place. I mean, I won't buy or anything like that. I will just rent a premises. And I think the equipment will cost me about 25,000 for all equipment.
You need to spend £25,000 on equipment.
Yeah.
Well, this guy's got he's got it all figured out, I
Levi's
think.
Still sounding confident.
This seems about
but his
right.
ambitious plans mean transforming a cottage industry into a mass production line virtually overnight. Theopophetus has been studying Levi's paperwork and has some concerns about the order itself.
I might have misunderstood you slightly, because I thought you said that you had an order for 2.5 million litres. That's not what this letter says. This letter says if they were to try and market your product, and if it was as successful as some of the other lines that are in national retailers, that's the sort of level that they would have to produce to make it happen. Is that your understanding?
No. Basically what he's saying to me, he says, look, we're ready to make an order. As long as you can supply us with this, this is what we will do.
Right. And they're going to pay you a royalty of 5%.
Of 5%, providing that I can supply him. He
So
will.
with him alone, I mean, he thinks that that will create about 390,000 packs.
Yeah.
Which
I'm confused. What the fuck are we talking about?
7 million.
We buying or selling sauce? What are we doing?
5% of that is 85.
85,
yeah.
okay.
So that would be
to sing a song.
that would be your royalty.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
Roughly.
Roughly, yeah.
That would be, and then you're going to be selling these guys at £6.50 a litre.
Per litre, yeah.
What's that in real money?
I think it's 16 million something. 16.5 million.
Is he right? I don't even know what the
He
fuck we're
had been a
talking about, to
musician
be
and
honest.
entrepreneur, but it seemed he had an order which would impress any dragon.
I went to the Dragons Den that morning thinking that I'm not going to have a business plan. I thought, you know, Levi, you got to be honest with yourself. You got to go as you. So I was well confident with what I had.
This pussy always wears the same shirt. Fuck you, man. It's not the same shirt. It's just the same kind of shirt. Fucking idiot. Same shirt implies it's the exact same shirt. It's not. Just the same brand.
Half-decent sauce to it. Give it a shake.
Goddamn homunculus. Don't even know what you're talking about.
But Richard Farley picked up on a problem with his order, and it looked like Levi's luck was about to run out.
It's something I don't understand. You've got an order for 2,500 kilos. Is that the one you're saying is 2.5 million litres?
Yeah.
Because I don't think that's right.
Not 2,500.
I'm not a minimalist.
2,000.
I just know fashion.
2,500 kilos.
So it's a lot less than you think it is.
It
It's
is?
2,500. The order is for
2,500 kilos.
Well, a kilo is about the same as a litre. If it's water, it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
So it's not 2.5 million litres. If you've got 2,500 kilos, it's 2,500 litres.
Okay.
And then it
Chuck
says
that computer.
2,500
that's initial
kilos,
requirement, and then a potential every
Man, he
week
shouldn't have
thereafter
even
of
brought this
500
order in.
kilos per week.
It's really fucked him.
25,000 a year.
Okay.
And you're getting £6 per...
£6.50 per litre.
Right, so it's about £130,000 worth per order, per year. It's not 16 million. Levi made a massive mistake on his numbers. And he wasn't phased at all. He's like, oh, okay, fair enough. And he didn't change a business plan. So he was going to do an order which was 1,000 times smaller than what he thought after I'd explained it to him. But he didn't say, oh, we need less money, or we need a smaller warehouse, or we need smaller quantities. Nothing changed. You probably admit to me that your business skills probably would need a little bit of help.
Absolutely. I would say that, yeah.
So
Oh, fat old Tutu. Welcome aboard, Poseidon Wave. Thank you, man.
Can I just cut in to give Richard a bit of time to think about whether he wants to gamble or whether to think about it? Because I know where I'm going with it, and I just want to be clear where I am.
Okay.
So you've got no illusions going forward. I think that trying to get into this market, we know how competitive it is. It's seriously, seriously competitive.
Sauce?
To try and range run product is kind of
Is sauce that
impossible.
competitive? I feel like I can make a sauce.
So, to let you know where I am,
thanks for the tier 1 reg.
I like impossible challenges.
Good.
And I've been sitting here for 10 minutes. I've been actually I can't believe this is the first time ever I've actually started to sweat. And I don't know whether it's the sauce that I've just
Join the
taken,
club.
or actually whether it's what I'm about to say.
Thanks to the resub, Moogle.
It is a complete punt, but I kind of probably would enjoy it. I've got a few people in the
Damn,
marketplace that I
NZ.
could introduce you to.
So he's worth
But
more
I'd
than
want
45
a
mil?
little bit more of a slice, but I wouldn't want to take too much away from you because I think you need to earn a living. But I would offer you half the money for 20%.
Sounds reasonable.
It's an extraordinary twist. Peter Jones has stepped in and offered Levi half of the £50,000 he needs, but he's demanding the whole 20% equity stake in return. Under the rules of the den, Levi must secure all the money he's asking for, or he leaves empty-handed.
What?
I was about to make an offer. I said, there is something here, and I thought I'd really love to work with him. So I was sort of in the middle of putting my thoughts together, and Peter jumped in, and I think he saw what I was thinking.
I like impossible challenges.
Good.
And
It's not an impossible challenge. You're selling sauce.
but I kind of probably would enjoy it.
Is it that hard?
But I would offer you half the money.
I mean, like, the
For
food
20%.
market's competitive, I guess, but I mean,
was
you're
panicking now,
multi-millionaire.
thinking that maybe I've blown this.
If you own a sauce, you could just
So
be
to
like,
hear Peter saying that,
hey,
yeah,
put it in the store.
He likes taking
Oh, okay.
chances. Was like, you know, ringing a bell and saying that, hey, I may still have a chance yet.
Is that an interesting offer to you? I mean, it just...
Well, it's the only one. It's the only one. It'd be interesting if it's the only
I'm gonna
one.
try and make a sauce.
Well, so we're talking about 20.
I feel like I could do it.
5,000 for 20%. So
How do you people feel about
no,
mayonnaise?
I think that's a fair. That's not. It is a gamble. It is a punt. I'd match that. 25,000 for another 20%. So you'd be talking 50,000 for 40%.
Levi now had 2 dragons interested, but they were asking for nearly half his business.
I knew that I was going to have to give away much more than I had gone there to do. And having to make a decision whether or not it's the greatest thing to have a smaller percentage of a business that's going somewhere, or to have everything of a business that's not going anywhere. And that's quite an easy decision for me.
I would accept it gladly.
Wait, what the fuck? The other 3 dudes, they didn't even get a chance.
Put some music in your sauce today. Give me some reggae sauce.
Wait, oh, that's... Damn, he went for it right away.
As well. I've
like,
got
that's good
an
enough.
ironing board that emails and makes toast and records Coronation Street.
The only thing wrong with this is there's no music in it. Because if you take the lid off and pour it over your food, it goes...
Actually gives
Tune
some
into the
fracture.
flavours and put some music into your food. That's exactly what I felt it did. It had a nice little kick to it.
He should have musical lids. When you open it, it goes reggae sauce. Like that.
So you guys said the sauce... Well, now it's just an ad. You guys said the sauce is actually good? Hold on, let me see. I want to see what he's worth. Let's take a peek. Alright. Reggae sauce. What was his name? Levi. Worth 45 million. But that was in 2014. It's gotta be more now, right? I would imagine. Fucking 6 years worth of growth. Or maybe rapid decline, I guess. Yeah, I don't know if I trust this from riches.com. Doesn't sound reliable. I'm just gonna go under this assumption that it's at least more than 45 million. Good for him. That's definitely the biggest we've seen from Dragon's Den or Shark Tank. Typically, every business that gets pitched on here crashes and burns in a couple months after they're on. It's the fucking curse, man. I swear these people invest in businesses just to collapse them as a joke, getting rid of any kind of competition. Try to remake something like Chick-fil-A sauce. I'm thinking if I combined mayonnaise with a little bit of toilet water or something, I could probably find gold. I just need something with a kick, but I don't like spice. I don't really like toilet water either, though. But I'll figure out a combination that'll work. Thanks to Prime Huey. Alright, Joey Boot, before I forget. Don't know what it is, but I'll look at it for you. So what does he do? Howard Stern gives me huge props.
Howard! What's up, man? How you been? Love you, brother. Yeah, I'm really good.
What do you got? You got a camera?
Yeah, say what's up, Joey Boots.
JoeyBoots.com or whatever it is. And what's this?
Joey Boots on Twitter.
What's that? The
This is
phone?
my camera.
Yeah, he's a very wise man.
He sounds like Ray Romano.
Thank you, man. What's up, Ronnie?
Well, I don't know why you recommended that. Good for you, though, Joey, I suppose. Alright, what else we got? You've invented a game that could be played without the game. Ah. Strip poker. Interesting. Shitty game. I wouldn't have invested personally. Peter mesmerized by Danny's Rubik's Cube alternative. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Alright, I gotta know. I don't like it. What is this, a Millennium Puzzle?
Good afternoon.
I'm out.
My name's Danny Bamping.
Hey, Danny.
I'm here today to try and raise £100,000 for Bedlam Puzzles.
Thanks to Reset Tech now.
Bedlam Puzzles Limited launched the Cube, the Bedlam Cube, our flagship
Thanks to the Bits
product
Mood.
at Hamleys of London, and we outsold the newly relaunched Rubik's Cube by 5 cubes to 1. There's 19,186 different variations.
Whoa, wait!
13 geometric
I used to have this as a kid.
back into the box.
Oh, this game
And
sucks.
After 3.5 years of playing with this puzzle nearly every day, finally on Boxing Day, I managed to do it. And
It's
then
actually
we've
really
taken the
boring.
development a step further with corporate cubes. This is one that I've made up for my football team that I support, Bolton Wanderers. We probably won't sell that many of these ones, but we have made a Manchester United one and an Arsenal one, a Chelsea one, and that kind of thing. You know, hopefully today that maybe one of you might take on the cube and invest in it and help create Bedlam around the world.
Well, he must have succeeded because I did play with this as a kid. I fucking hated it. It just wasn't fun. I always liked the Rubik's Cube. Much more tactile. You get to like twist things and shit. Here you just drop in shapes in a box.
When did you outsell Rubik?
When we launched at Hamleys.
Right, so you launched, and during the 5 weeks between the launch time and Christmas, you sold.
We sold 2,000 units.
How have your sales been since January compared to Rubik Cubes in that store?
Well, we've exceeded them.
How much?
I'm not sure exactly on the ratio, but I think it might be 2 to 1. So for every, obviously, Rubik's Cube, we've sold 2 Bedlam Cubes.
Yeah?
Yeah, we've done really well. And Hamleys are really pleased. They've said it's one of the best product launches they've ever had.
I hate it.
What are your projections for this business, Danny?
I think it will do 20 to 30% of what the Rubik's Cube did. So when you look at the Rubik's Cube did 100 million units in 5 years, I think this has got the potential to do at least 30 million units in 5 years.
So your entire business plan is built on doing 30% of one of the most successful toys in history.
Yeah, that's...
Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a pretty smart idea, right?
That's your conservative view.
Yeah, that's my concern. I think this is
like, what's wrong with that? That's fine.
Good initial sales, Danny is brimming with confidence
Eggs and
about
prime
the potential
waffle.
for his puzzle. Rachel Elnor has a technical issue she wants clarified.
Danny, do you have any, so it seems like a trivial question, but how do you actually get them made up? It's sort of, you've got, well, if it's so difficult.
Yeah. In China.
Your workers, yeah.
They're very smart there.
Well, we obviously have to give them the solution so that they come manufactured in a certain way. And the interesting thing is that because people have bought the cube, say they bought one in Hamleys before Christmas, after Christmas we had a lot of people hitting the website to buy the solution.
Oh,
because
so
I
you
sell the solution to people.
How much
For how
is the
much?
solution?
For £10.
Smart man.
That's pretty fucking genius.
I'd like to know about you, and I don't know whether we've talked about you.
Alright, I like that.
I am a serial entrepreneur. I've got other business interests as well.
So you've got various irons and fires.
Yes, and
right.
I do a lot of PR as well for other clients that I've got that I'm doing projects with. And in my spare time, I look for big cats. I'm sure you've heard of the stories of Beast of Bodmin Moor and all that kind of thing.
Never heard. I don't know. I haven't got a clue who you're talking about.
Beast of Bodmin.
No,
Does no one know?
it's you know, it's a big cat. It's a leopard. You know, and we've got an incident at the moment where there's a puma running around Dartmoor. So I keep the police informed from that perspective and the public.
I'm pretty. He didn't make the cube. This guy isn't saying he made the
I
cube.
am, yeah, absolutely.
He's just
But
the
my
salesman for it, I
complete
believe.
Total focus at the moment is the Bedlam Cube.
Because it's even called the Bedlam
Danny's
Cube, which
other
isn't his
friends could
apparently.
distract him from his Bedlam puzzle venture. Theo Pafitis wants to bring the focus back to the business opportunity.
I'm going to start with financials. Retail price?
This is between $9.99 and $12.99.
Right. How much do you sell it to the retailer?
Just over £5.
And how much do they cost you to produce and where do you produce them?
We produce them in the Far East, and the cost price to us is less than $2.
Where's the resub
The
font
impressive
size?
profit margin has sparked interest amongst the Dragons. Danny
Except for
came
Peter,
into the
he's
den
too
looking
busy.
For £100,000 for 10% of his company. Duncan Bannatyne is ready to test the water.
And how negotiable is the percentage of equity that you're offering?
Well, it depends, obviously, how much you're willing to put in of that, I suppose, that sweat equity.
Well, let's suppose they're spending 100,000. What equity would you offer?
I'd slap you in the face. That's way
If
too
it's just
low.
the money,
Yeah.
10% really, that's what I'm looking for. Depends how real the offer is, really. I mean, you know, get down to crunching numbers and...
Are you flirting? Like, what are you doing?
Are you making an offer?
I'm asking you what percentage you would give me for £100,000.
Well, my initial focus was
Man,
10%,
that dragon
I
gives
would
me
be
like
able to
that
maybe go up to
creepy
15,
guy at the bar
maybe
vibes.
We could talk about 20%.
Can I buy you a drink?
Go much above that.
It wasn't an actual question. I already bought it.
Okay, I'll think about that.
Okay.
Danny, unless you were willing to radically revise your equity position, I couldn't even begin to consider an investment. So unless you're willing to take, like, in the neighborhood of...
Thanks, Bleach.
Say, unless you were willing to discuss selling approximately 40% or more of your company for $100,000, I'll have to bow out.
Okay, well, I'll certainly consider it.
Oh, this is the moment. Consider away. I'm asking.
Danny came to the den offering 10% of his company.
That guy's a real character. He's like a side character in a
Wants a
sitcom.
much bigger slice for his £100,000.
Like, he's one of those like teacher kind of characters that the kids make fun of, but he stays like the straight man, never breaks.
For 40% of the business. I think it's, I mean, if you were going to put twice as much in, say 200,000.
Then that would be the equivalent of putting in 100,000 for 20%, which was not the offer I made. The offer I made was 100,000 for 40%.
Then at this point in time, I'd have to decline that offer.
Well, I actually invented the Rubik's Cube, and now I'm going to beat the shit out of this thing.
The puzzle
Fuck
since
you.
Danny started his pitch is about to show his cards.
Danny, I think you can probably see what I think of the product. I am mesmerised by it. I think it's really a great product. I really do. What I don't like necessarily is actually the fact that you classified yourself as a serial entrepreneur. What that tells me is that this is a one-hit wonder for you, and whilst it's going well, that's great, but actually that next opportunity down the road, you're off, you're gone. If I made an investment
Thanks
in
for
you,
resub, Sparrow.
because that's what the investment is, what commitment are you going to make in return?
Well, as I have been for the last 2 or 3 years since I started the product development, I'm completely committed to Bedlam Puzzles right now, and I don't see myself going off and doing.
Wait, so this
else.
guy?
I've got.
And would you prove that?
Wait, so he is the
setting
Bedlam
up
Cube
a holding
curator?
company? And the investment I make is in Danny Holdings Limited.
Well, I've actually set
which
set up a holding company.
Okay, well, I'll invest the whole money for 35% of Danny Holdings.
Ooh.
By investing in the holding company, Peter Jones would own a part of all Danny's other business interests.
Damn, you got fucking bent over.
So 35% of the holding company is too much of a stake, and I wanted to bring the focus back to obviously trying to maybe do a deal with Bedlam Puzzles Limited.
Deal's here right now. It's on the table.
Damn, Peter.
But it's right there. It's take it or leave it time.
Peter, damn. And also, you're gonna come solve this cube for me, because fuck you. It's making me feel dumb.
Danny, just before you go back to Peter, I think this is a great product.
Thank you.
And I think it's a
Thanks
brilliant
to Resub Ninja.
gift. Brilliant price. You've got a good margin going on it. But from what I've seen, just based on this product, I'd be happy to make an offer to you for half of what you need, 50,000, for 15% of Bedlam Puzzles.
Right. Okay.
So
Thanks to the Resub
that's
Amateur.
my hat thrown in the ring.
Okay, thank you for that.
And just, I do have retail contacts and experience into department stores and some other outlets.
Her net worth is 12 million?
Are they? You're the real thing, eh?
I've got the shops.
That sounds very low for a dragon on here.
What shops are those, may I ask?
A stationery store called Partners.
Oh, right, yeah.
You've heard of it?
I have, yeah.
Yeah. They could sell these through Christmas. I could actually put an order in now.
Oh, feel free.
But I'm not gonna. I hate this product.
The 100,000 for 25%.
Deal. Deal. Bro, this guy owns the toy stores. Why are you even thinking about that? Deal.
There are now 3 deals on the table. Peter Jones has offered the full £100,000, but in return he wants 35% of all Danny's ideas.
Yeah, it's just a bad deal.
Rachel Elnor has offered half the money for a 15% stake in just
Mediocre deal.
But Theo Pafitis has made the best offer. All the money for a 25% stake in the puzzle.
And he owns toys. This man invented toys.
Listen, you've had some fantastic offers here, so I want to make my position clear.
Okay.
I'm out.
Okay.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, I actually forgot you were here, to be honest. Thanks for that, man. What?
So
who are you?
time for Danny
Whatever.
Bamping to make
Back
the
to the
most
serious,
important
guys.
decision of his business life.
Okay, so I think I've better say to yourself that I'm really intrigued and flattered that you would like to invest in a holding company, but that's not what the offer that was on the table today.
But just before you turn that down,
Yeah.
because I feel that's where you're going with
Well, almost.
it. You're an entrepreneur. You got to
Yeah.
think with your mind, just not with your wallet.
It's not just about the money, and I don't want to be not in control of my
He
holding
employed 15 people selling his products around the world with a
Well, I've been
multi-million
turned down, so I
pound
think I'm
turnover.
out.
You're out.
Danny has
Okay,
turned
so they
down
issued
Peter
bankruptcy in
Jones.
2012.
He's come up with his own idea of how to get himself a better deal.
Gotcha.
Would you be able to look at maybe working with Theo and maybe doing something that where you both took the same amount of equity stake for the same amount of money? Say
Why?
10% for 50,000 each.
Kind of a...
Because that would give me, obviously, the money that I've come for.
That was kind of
I've given away
smart.
Twice as much equity as I wanted to.
But I mean,
both
you only need
added
Theo.
value to the company. And that, to me, is a very appetizing.
I don't know why you'd say yes, but I mean, that's kind of like a smart little counteroffer. I like that.
You're renegotiating now. And you know what happens when you renegotiate, don't you?
Oh, no.
I usually win.
Do you? Well, what happens, people then think again. I think maybe I did go in too cheap. So maybe if you're going to renegotiate, I'll say, I offered you 100,000 for 25%. Do you know, I think I went in too cheap. I think I should have gone for 30%.
For 100,000?
Yeah.
Hey, let's renegotiate one more time. Back down to 25%. I'll solve that cube for you.
Split that off.
And I won't.
15%, 50,000 for 15%.
I won't look at you again.
Or take his whole.
Yes. Would you do that?
100,000
Would you
to
do that, Theo?
30%.
Would you do that? Exactly what Rachel said.
No. No, I wouldn't. And now I'm going 100K for 35.
What are you going to bring to the party other than your hard-earned cash?
Well, I think I said it before. I've got lots of retail contacts with all the key.
She's getting
department
intimidated by
stores.
Theo.
And really, to meet these numbers, you need to get in there
To the big players.
now.
Yes.
And I mean, now.
Theo owns them. Your contacts are Theo's employees, Rachel.
What we're saying here is that you would actually make a direct introduction into those buyers.
Oh, yeah.
He owns the buyers.
In that case, I'll let you come in.
That was nice of him.
That's very nice of you, Theo. Well, you've got a deal if you
Is
want to
that a
accept it. Yeah?
You got a deal?
Great.
Theo just did that for some fun. That guy literally owns those shops.
Came for, and after some tough negotiating, it was Rachel Elnor and
Rachel's probably one of his employees.
Goodbye.
Bye.
That's a great product. Brilliant price
It is
point.
interesting.
Brilliant gift for Christmas. The Bedlam Cube.
Well done, great, good investment.
Well done, guys.
Well done.
Thank you.
That must be one of the most successful pitches we've
Wow.
seen.
Man, Theo is kind of ruthless, actually. That guy's kind of a fucking hardballer. Shit. Thanks to the Prime, John. Is that a suggestion, Cathal, or are you just saying that? Wait, why is Weber Cooks here?
Hello, Wildcats. This is Weber Cooks.
Oh, that's what it was. It was from a long time ago.
Hello, Dragons. My name is Paul Lobo.
Hey, Paul.
This is Barry Ritchie.
What's up, Barry?
Our company is Air Oasis Limited.
Cool.
The purpose of us being here is we want £125,000 of your money, and in return, we will give you 10% equity in our company. Our product produces water out of air.
What?
And Barry is now going to give you a brief presentation on our product.
Hello, Dragons. What I'm going to do first of all is just give you a quick, very quick scientific experiment just to show you what the end product that comes out of our machine, which is the pure drinking water itself. Paul, if you'd like to pour me a glass of tap water from there.
Tap, ew.
Take a glass
Ooh.
from our machine, which we'll
Tap
come into
water?
shortly.
These are millionaires.
This is water that's been made out of the air in the last hour. What we're actually going to do very quickly is just pop this electrolyzer in, which is going to pass a small electric current through this water, and shortly that will come up as a colour, and it will show you basically what's in this water. What we're looking for in the ideal water, it comes up yellow. This just shows that there's separated mineral grains in the water. With the other water in which we have here, this will go probably obviously a different colour, and it will show what's in there. As we're leaving
Can't wait to drink
for a
that.
little while, I'll just tell you a little bit about this machine. We have the exclusive sole distribution rights to sell this machine throughout the United Kingdom. We also have
Alright,
Iran,
thank.
Syria, as well as Sri Lanka, India and Nepal. The air is sucked in through the side here. It runs through a condensing unit like a dehumidifier. They are then passed through a
It's not like a
seven-stage
dehumidifier, it is a
filtration
dehumidifier.
system and a UV light to kill any bacteria whatsoever that's in the water, providing you with the purest, freshest drinking water on the planet. £4 million a day is being spent on bottled water in this country. We believe by educating the public and showing them our water
Hey, good luck,
is
Inzi.
much better than bottled water.
And there's
we
no advice
believe
on how to
this
not be
machine,
nervous.
with its electricity and
They're just
running
not.
costs that produce water
Experience.
at 7 pence a litre, is going to change the way in which people buy water in this country. This is from the tap. That's what you clean your vegetables in. And this is our water.
Ah,
Ice
piss.
cooled, just with separated mineral grains.
Yeah, I'd rather wash my vegetables in the urine.
Bold claims about the purity and great taste of their water.
Look, it's
Ambitious plans for market
Budweiser.
penetration. Barry Ritchie and Paul Lobo's pitch for
Nah,
£125,000
piss tastes better than
of
Budweiser.
investment in their company Air Oasis certainly hasn't lacked confidence. But what's behind their confident claims?
Thanks to the resub,
Theo
abnormal.
Pafitis wants to know.
Barry, Paul, I'm Theo.
Hi, Theo. Nice to meet you.
7p a litre.
Yes.
Sounds cheap when you compare it with bottled water.
Thanks, Brandon.
But it's not cheap when you compare it to just filter, because there's units
Okay,
like that
gotcha,
that just
Aaron.
filter existing
That's
tap
right. Oh,
water.
without question. Without question.
The difference is these don't need a water supply, so
No.
they will be
Thank
very
you for the
good in
recommendations.
humid countries
Without question.
where you can't get water to a unit.
Most definitely.
So the UK market is not actually going to be a very good market for this, is it?
Well, I think it is actually. There's a lot of people that are interested in reducing their carbon footprint at the moment.
Talk to me about it. How
48 million
How
pounds.
does this reduce my carbon footprint?
Okay, let's just look at the 808,000 machines that are out there at the moment with big plastic bottles on the top. The plastic, there's no plastic, there's no bottled water, there's no diesel, there's no John in his shorts coming up to get all the bottles. So the whole process...
Mine are plumbed in. I've already dealt with it. They're all plumbed in.
Okay, well then...
No, Johnny doesn't turn up in his shorts.
Okay.
Right, it doesn't deliver anything.
But you're comparing a Mini with a Rolls Royce, because at the end of the day, the water this produces, this is not Sainsbury's vodka, this is the best vodka.
The Dragons
What do you mean?
are
It's still
feeling
just
the full
water, though, bro.
force of Barry's bullish sales pitch. James Kahn decides to seek refuge in the company's finances.
Are you renting these, leasing these, or selling these?
Selling.
What's
no
the price?
renting, no leasing. We're selling this. This machine sells at £699.
Whoa!
We have a domestic unit that converts tap water into pure water, which we're selling at £500.
I'm in.
What is it costing you to buy these?
They're coming into me at £318.
Man, that's a lot of
into the
sweat.
UK.
Okay, and you're going to retail that to the
He's fucking
end user
dehumidifying
at
his forehead.
£699. That's using a direct sales force.
By selling direct to
My
consumers,
God.
Barry and Paul are confident of healthy
How hot
margins.
is it in there? Holy
But Duncan
shit.
Bannatyne thinks he's spotted a flaw in their plans.
No, tell you what I don't like about this product is something you said in your pitch. What you're going to do is educate the public. You haven't explained how you're going to educate the public, and you're not going to educate the public. The public are going to continue using tap water or drinking bottled water.
Duncan, as soon as you do this test, which is very visual,
Paul,
it really,
Paul,
that's the education.
Paul, you can't travel around the country, knocking on people's doors, going in with 2 glasses of water and saying to people, look at the difference, buy one of these machines. You can't do that.
Yes, we can.
You can't educate the public.
Well, no one's going to listen.
We've just got 100 kits in little cases. This is like the Kirby vacuum cleaner. This is the bugs on the bed under the microscope. We've got 300 people signed up already to go out door to door on commission only, part-time, hairdressers, mothers.
Barry, the point I'm making isn't that you can't go around knocking on doors. The point I'm making is you can't afford to go around knocking on doors. There isn't enough money in it to go around knocking on doors and saying to people, look, will you let me come in and show you these 2 glasses of water and show you the difference, and then you can buy my machine for 500 quid.
Okay, but there is, because it doesn't cost any money. We've bought all the kits. The people are taking on a part-time commission-only basis. They get £100.
This man's about to explode into just like an absolute flood.
Multi-level direct market.
His forehead is... It's turning into even more water than that dehumidifier's pumping out.
Kirby, I've done the lot.
I
16
had to
years old. I was
ask
the top salesman at 17.
Barry, you run the risk of talking yourself back down those stairs without an investment.
Okay.
The reason I asked if you've been a Kirby selling
right.
person
I've heard
is
that a lot.
I could have told you were, because actually what you used to do is stand in people's room, bombard them and barrage them exactly the way you're trying to do with us now, until they capitulate and buy that carpet cleaner. I've seen the selling techniques, which I have to say really, really annoys me.
Not wrong,
you're talking
Invicta.
about a pyramid selling scheme. I've got to tell you, for me, that is a combination that I would run a mile from.
Okay, that's fine.
So I have no reason.
And also, you're too sweaty for me to invest in. I'm getting grossed out by all your sweat.
The den is darkening.
And you know what?
The
Only for
furious
that reason I'm
Legion
out.
wants nothing to do with the duo, and she's not the only dragon to be alienated by the pitch.
As a
Jesus
business
Christ.
proposition, does this excite me for £150,000?
Professional athletes
No.
after a big game
Working
don't
with
sweat as
Barry
much
would
as
just
that.
drive me crazy. I don't think I could handle it. And for those reasons, guys, I'm out.
2 dragons are out. So
Holy
far,
shit.
Barry's been dominating proceedings. But Peter Jones wants to know
Every
more
time it
about
cuts
his business
back
partner.
to him, it's more water. It's like that Kin and Peel skit
How do you work with this
where he's
guy?
about to be caught cheating or whatever the fuck it was.
Very well. I love his enthusiasm.
No, I get Barry. I don't get you.
Leave her
Do
in
you
the
do
product?
everything Barry says?
No, not at all.
That's
Not
the
at
whole,
all.
that's the benefit. When 2 men in a business always agree, one of them is unnecessary.
How much money have you made? Have you got money to put into it?
Yes, I have. I put in £150,000.
Holy
You
shit.
put in 150,000 of your own cash?
Yes.
And Barry?
I'm about 50 and about $1 million in hard work.
Have you got any more money, Paul?
Of course I've got more money.
How much more money have you got?
Well, I don't think that concerns you.
It does concern me.
How much money have you got?
Whoa!
10 million in the bank, let's say.
Well, I don't think that's a valid question.
Well, I'll tell you why it's a valid question. If you've got the money, why aren't you putting the bloody money on the
Let us
table?
explain why.
Explain.
We want your expertise, your knowledge.
Peter
so that
only
we
has
can
10
really
million?
know-
Well, why should I give you money for you to get
An
money from
actual,
me?
like,
Well, we're not
money?
a charity. We're not going to let
Obviously
you,
not assets.
What do you
equity
mean you're
in
not
our
a charity? You want knowledge from me and my money.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely. That's why we're here.
I haven't got mug written over my forehead, you know.
An enraged Peter Jones has blasted the duo. The dragons are clearly infuriated by the entrepreneurs themselves.
Barry, can you give him a glass of water, please?
Certainly.
Barry and Paul's only hope now is to salvage their pitch by proving their water tastes as good as they say.
He gets poisoned.
Barry,
Yep, tastes like
It
lead.
tastes terrible.
It tastes terrible.
Well, I've had all these conversations, but nobody's sort of tasting the water.
Is it that, has it been that long?
Taste that water.
That's because it's warm, that's why.
Unusual taste.
Put something in this.
I haven't.
It's roofied.
Give a clean glass.
They just go steal the money off their tables.
Use your glass and go and get a drink of that water.
Mayhem erupts in the den.
Why? You're poisoning yourself. It's
The
polluted.
dragons declare Barry and Paul's water to be totally unpalatable.
It's revolting.
My kids will throw that back at you.
Theo Paphitis.
Well, then you have some rude-ass kids. What the fuck?
Does it taste terrible or not?
It doesn't taste terrible, but it certainly doesn't taste as good as it should do.
It doesn't
but the
taste
machine
like
has
water.
Not, but it's a brand spanking new machine that needed to be flushed and everything else properly. This is why it's here.
It needs to
So
be
it's
set
chemicals.
up for a longer period of time
And it takes
in
4
order
or 5 hours to get it working properly.
So what is the temperature of that, Barry?
21 degrees.
Just listen to me, 'cause I'm getting really annoyed now. I'm complaining not about the temperature, but the fact it's got a terrible, appalling aftertaste. So don't make excuses about
Yeah, it's probably mercury.
I'm out.
Yeah, you've probably most likely got mercury
It's all
poisoning
but
now
over
from that.
for Barry and Paul. They've been blasted
drinking like
by
a swamp.
Theo Paphitis. Now Duncan Bannatyne and Peter Jones step forward to have their say.
You know, the thing is, what gets me is this. You did all these tests on this water to show your water is the best.
Yes.
Then I tested your water.
Yes.
And it's rubbish. We all tested it. We all said the same thing. And then you said that's because that machine hasn't been flushed.
In order for you
Thanks for
to
the bits, Clays.
see our machine in its full operation,
And the reset marksman.
it would have been fair for this machine to be here overnight. Then it would have been.
Well, you've gone from.
Then would have.
You've gone
done
from
justice.
You've gone from an hour and a half to all night now. You know, but it doesn't really answer my question. And you know, I'm not going to invest in it, so I'm out.
Paul, Barry, you've basically brought a product here that lives or dies on the back of the quality that it produces.
Can I say, in all the times that we've tasted that water, amongst you dragons, that's the first time that's been like this. That's all I can say to you.
Yeah, it means nothing.
I think enough has been said by everybody else, and I don't think you're here.
That being said,
to
I'll
be
invest.
Insulted. So
I like the
good
taste
luck
of
to you in
garbage.
your endeavours, but I'm
Thank
not
you.
going to invest in the business, and I'm out.
Okay. Okay.
How much equity would
Barry
65
and
bucks
Paul
get me?
have
Wait,
felt
come
the
back.
full force of the dragon's wrath. It may have been a confident
We
start,
could sell it as
but
liquid
takes
ass.
more than a forceful sales pitch to part the dragons from their cash.
Barry, Paul, what did you think of that?
Well, we knew.
Well, Barry was sodden the entire time.
Did you know that it wasn't going to taste good with that amount of standing time beforehand?
I did. As soon as I looked at the reading on it, the water was 25 degrees. It was too hot. It should be 4.
But Theo kept pointing out it wasn't the temperature he was worried about. So does the colder temperature disguise the
Thanks for the
No,
reset,
it
Bread
doesn't,
Runner,
it
and
doesn't
Prime
have to disguise
Saturn.
it, but as the filters are working, the temperature comes down as it passes through the
So
filters.
it hadn't gone through the filters
No, it needs
enough
to go all
time.
through, not enough time.
Okay.
Okay.
Well done. All the very best.
Thank you.
Well done. Yeah, very well done, guys. You were real close. That was really impressive. Dragon's Den's pretty good. I like Dragon's Den. Better than Dragon's Den Ireland. That shit sucks. No manufacturer would ever sell small condoms. Wait, you hold your tongue, swine. Small condoms? Finally.
Hello, Dragons. My name is Joe Nelson,
Exit
and I
tier
am
one, Joey,
the
from the
condom
Prime Frank.
revolutionary. In December 2011, I launched my company, TheyFit. TheyFit manufactures and sells directly to consumers 95 different sizes of male condom.
Perfect.
We make 14 different lengths, starting at just 3 inches, all the way up to 9.5 inches.
Why even
and
make a
12 different
3-inch one?
nominal widths, which fit circumferences from 3.5 inches out to 7.5 inches. The Family Planning Association tell us that currently half of all pregnancies are unplanned. The World Health Organization estimates that every single day around the world, 1 million people catch a sexually transmitted infection. Now, the male condom goes a long way to addressing both issues, but only when it's used. I'm changing people's behavior and attitudes towards their sexual health for the better. I've made a condom that men want to wear rather than
And
me convincing.
it tastes like Greek yogurt.
It's been a pleasure pitching to you. Thank you very much for your time. I look forward to your questions.
Thanks to the Prime, Klaus,
An intriguing
Clays,
pitch from Joe Nelson, who's looking for £200,000 in return for a 10% stake in his company. Piers Linney wants to find out how he can be sure that his
You mind if I
They
flop
Fit
my dick on the table
condoms
real quick to make
live
sure you
up
have a
to their
custom
name?
fit for me?
So talk me through the customizing the sizing. How do
Oh,
you
it's
go-
probably
how does
it's
it
probably
work?
best, Piers, to give you one of these.
I thought what you were going to say then. So this is.
That's called a fit kit. Thank you. Would you? So if you turn it over, the instructions are on the back. Peter?
So basically it's a paper ruler, length, circumference, and then you can go and buy the right size.
It's as easy as finding the right size of shoe. For essentially 90 years, latex condoms have been sold one size fits all.
Yeah.
And arguably, the biggest reason for selling them...
Joe, that's not right, because you can buy condoms in different sizes now. It's not all one size fits all.
It's a common reaction, Duncan, but the perception owes more to clever marketing than anything else. So, for example, popular manufacturer in the UK markets...
No, forget manufacturing. You go to Boots.
Yep.
And you will see condoms in different sizes.
You won't find any condom box in the UK that has the exact size of the condom in the box.
No, I'm not saying they are, but what I'm saying is you can't say that all the others are one size fits all. There are different sizes.
You're wrong. I disagree. Because I've only ever bought one brand of condoms.
Takes issue with the former
And one
financier's
size.
claim about the uniqueness of his product. Now, Peter Jones has concerns about Joe's business model.
I'm surprised
Thanks,
that you
Hector.
haven't researched the market profitability opportunity over a product like this with such wide and varied range, when probably 80% of your sales will come from, I would suggest, 10% of the lines that you're introducing. 90% of the
Call it
lines
what it is,
that you
Peter, small
introduce
dicks.
because you want to be wide to the market kills your business model.
Makes the resub golden.
In terms of profitability.
Yeah, I don't think anyone with a
consumer
huge
cash
cock is
so
going to be
much
asking
the
for
business
custom
right now.
fit.
It's running, and there were admittedly some startup costs, but they're kind of sunk costs. The website is a cost. Doesn't need.
Do you know what? You're missing the point. Your issue's going to become, when you scale, you've got one major fundamental flaw in your business.
Which is?
Stock.
Do you intend to sell this in shops
No.
or just online?
Just online.
Online, because you know you can't sell it in a shop because...
Shelf space.
The shelf space. You have to have
And
95 in a row.
yeah.
And that's where the weakness is in this.
Can you imagine, though? You should open your own shop.
It's a weakness.
I don't see it
Just
as a
all
weakness,
condoms.
Duncan. I see it as...
Like a card shop.
People buy condoms in shops...
But with more penis.
...through force of habit more than anything else. If you move purchasing condoms online, you can take your time, you can do it in the privacy of your own home, there's no embarrassment or awkwardness. You can do great things like customise the sizing.
Joe's made a convincing argument for keeping his business online. But Kelly Hoppen has doubts about just how viable the whole concept is.
Durex is probably the biggest condom company.
In the UK, yes.
Right.
What about
Why
Trojan?
would they
I thought they were
not have
bigger.
done something like this? They're a very successful company.
Yep.
They're sold everywhere. Why would they not have come up with this idea?
The problem with this pitch to an established condom manufacturer is that to make these is significantly more expensive than a traditional condom. Condoms are made in one size fits all because doing that enables you to make them quickly, reliably, but most importantly, cheaply. But the key thing missing is satisfaction with using the product.
But you never hear about people complaining about the size
I
of
complain
condoms.
all the time, Debbie.
Women
You'd be
carry
shocked.
condoms in their handbags. What, are they going to say, oh, I don't know, I'm going to have a guess on which size I'm going to take tonight?
No, not at all. And,
Take all 95.
I mean, all I
could
can
take
say
all
to you
95.
is I don't like the idea, and I'm going to tell you where I am. I am definitely out.
Appreciate your time.
Pretty good point, though. It's not often you hear someone complain about condoms, but
A
one time I
first
bought the
dragon
Magnum
has
Dong
declined the
condoms,
opportunity
and
to
I was
invest.
tight. I was upset.
And with a net
It was like
loss
putting an
of
umbrella on my penis.
£7,500 in his first year of
I
trading,
made a mistake.
Deborah Meaden wants to establish precisely why Joe has valued his business at a cool £2 million.
Obviously, the key to the valuation is not sitting in your trading figures to date, so it's presumably sitting
But I
in the
kept them in
patent.
my car's glove
Actually,
box.
the patent doesn't
so
let you sleep easily at night.
It honestly was kind of a
Well,
net
I was about to
positive.
say,
So
I'd
if
like
I
to
ever
see
did have a girl in the car and she just happened to go into my glove box, she'd see that. I'd be like, oh, no, that's so embarrassing.
Thank you.
The system of
Little did
sizing,
she
any
know,
system
huh?
at all, where I communicate to you, the manufacturer or the retailer,
Thanks to the
size
resub,
that
Grumpy.
I require. That's my patent. The meaning is that if I
This does not stop other people sizing condoms. This stops other people using your method of sizing condoms.
That's not true. Any kind of communication from me, the consumer, to you, the manufacturer or retailer, that's what that covers.
Actually, the tier 1 rapid
defined
razor.
in 3 dimensions.
Well, most reference data for this product is in 3
No, it
dimensions.
isn't. Small, medium, large is not defined in 3 dimensions.
I guess my point there, Deborah, is that no manufacturer will ever sell small condoms. That's never going to sell with a label small on them.
I agree.
The only bit that
he's
might
right.
have got my attention is that nobody else could size their condoms. Well, they can. They just need to use a different system. But the real defining and crowning moment is you.
Thanks, DeVito. And I'll pass.
I don't know how to process that.
I couldn't work with you because you go into sales mode without listening or really taking in the question. So I'm afraid I won't be investing. I'm out.
That's fine, Deborah. Thank you for your input.
Deborah Meaden is convinced neither by the patent nor the entrepreneur who holds it. Will Piers Linney prove any more
Congrats,
willing
Conveyor.
to offer
Good shit.
Joe the cash injection his condom business craves?
There is a market for people that do want maybe a more expensive, you know, well-fitted condom.
I want a
Maybe that's
luxury
your
condom
market,
with like little fans
as
in it
opposed
that
to
cools
trying
my
to
dick
pretend
off.
It's a mass market product. We'd all like to wear tailored clothing.
Yes, that's a really great
Solar
analogy
powered if
because
possible.
I know it is.
Peter's suits, for example, are excellent. The reason I don't wear a suit as great as Peter's, you know, I don't have the money.
That's my point.
Well, stop going on about suit sizes. It's totally
Size is
irrelevant,
very
Joe.
important.
Is it totally irrelevant?
Yes, it's totally irrelevant.
Totally?
Totally irrelevant.
I don't think it is irrelevant. I think a condom that fits is a great thing. Isn't this something you just take into that high-end market and develop there? And you probably will sell some. But the way you sort of pitched it, I don't think it's going to work, so I'm afraid I'm out.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I don't really know why you'd buy a
Three
custom
dragons
fit
have now
condom.
walked away from the deal.
Unless you could like
Time for a
make it look
straight-talking
cool,
Duncan
like you could put your
Bannatyne
own pictures
to
on it or
confront
something,
Joe on
like
some of
actual
his bold
customization.
claims.
I am changing
Put
people's
like
behaviour.
like your Twitch link on it or something
free
cool.
condoms to third world countries.
Ultimately, once it's profitable enough, yes, I think that's a nice aspiration.
Anyway, Joe, I'm out, so there's no point talking to me anymore.
Okay.
Joe, how do you feel it's gone?
Wonderful. It's been thoroughly energising. I think the topic matter really puts people on edge and on the defensive.
You're right, the topic is always open for...
Thanks to
silly
Prime
comments.
Noctis.
The reality is that...
And the bits Rick.
Your business model is flawed. The reason
Agreed, GT.
why some of the main brands work is because, exactly as you've described, they have economies of scale, they fit and reduce their overall SKU. I do think that you'll be averagely successful because it's quirky. But this is not an investment, and certainly not £2 million. So, Joe, I'm not going to invest, and I'm out.
Thank you very much, Peter. Thank you very much, all of you guys. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.
So Joe departs without the £200,000 investment he was seeking. But
Well,
a
it was a pretty
recent
shitty
visit
idea,
to the den
really.
seems to have provided
He should have
him
just
with a
sold
potential
only
new
small
customer.
condoms. I specialize in small, tight condoms.
I might go and grab one of those 3.5
I
inch ones.
specialize in selling illusions. It makes
I think a
a
lot
small
of people are
cock
caught
look
on the
bigger
back foot
inside of
just
it.
by the topic of sex and safe sex.
Like
Some
a
people
padded
think
bra.
condom is some kind of expletive. Until we start taking safe sex seriously and being able to talk about it openly, then we're going to continue to have the problems that we see today.
But I don't know what problem we're seeing today that he's seeing.